Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take the source material you send us, notes, research, articles, you name it, and really get into it.
Yeah, we dig through to pull out the interesting bits, the stats, the insights you might miss.
And today, you've given us some notes on a couple of upcoming games in the Irish Premier Division. We've got Drogheda versus Shamrock Rovers and St. Patrick's against Shelbourne.
That's right. And the mission, as always, is to, well, sift through this data you provided and find the key takeaways, maybe some surprising angles to help you get a better feel for these matches.
Okay. And looking just initially, some interesting things jump out, don't they? Like, you see a team's recent form looking a bit off, but then you look at, say, their home record, and it's a completely different story.
Exactly. It's rarely straightforward, is it? The real meat is often in those contradictions, those tensions between different pieces of information.
Right. Okay, let's dive into that first match then. Drogheda taking on Shamrock Rovers. The notes you sent suggest the prediction leans towards Shamrock Rovers.
It does. And you can see why. I mean, Rovers are pretty decent, Nick. 6 wins and that recent 0-0 draw. Their away form's been good, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 3 consecutive away wins listed here. And interestingly, the notes say both teams scored in all 3 of those away victories.
Okay, so they're winning away, but maybe not shutting teams out. But then, Drogheda.
Yeah.
The research here points to them being quite resilient. Only 3 defeats overall in this period.
Mm-hmm.
But what really catches the eye is the draws. 4 draws in their last 5 matches, apparently.
That's it. That's that first bit of, complexity. They're hard to beat, clearly. But they're just not quite finding the wins lately.
But then you layer on their home form.
Exactly. Unbeaten in the last 6 at home, according to this. That's a strong foundation at their own ground.
Unbeaten 6 at home, drawing 4 of the last 5 overall.
Okay.
And this is specific. 7 of their home goals came in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's a great little detail from the notes. It suggests, maybe fitness, maybe belief, but they seem to have a kick late on at home. Adds to that resilience picture.
But here's the conflict, isn't it? The head-to-head this season. Shamrock Rovers have won the last 2 times they've played Drogheda.
Right. So you got Drogheta's clear home strength, that late goal threat, clashing with Rovers' good current form, good away results, and the fact they've already beaten Drogheda twice this season. It's tricky.
And the notes mention both lost twice to top 2 sides. Suggests maybe a ceiling?
Potentially, yeah. So the real question from this data is, what weighs more? That strong home record and resilience, or Rovers' current momentum and that specific head-to-head advantage this year?
Mm-hmm.
It's not simple.
Definitely not. Okay, let's switch gears then. St. Patrick's at home to Shelbourne. Prediction here is favoring St. Pat's.
Yes, but again, it's the contrasts in the notes that are fascinating. St. Patrick's overall recent form. Well, it's not great. Only 3 wins in 11 matches mentioned here.
Oof. Yeah, that doesn't sound too strong.
But you flip to their home record in the same notes, and it's night and day. Unbeaten in their last 10 home games.
10. Wow. Okay, so an incredibly strong home fortress, despite the patchy overall results.
That's the core tension, isn't it? Can that amazing home form overcome the generally poor run they've been on? The notes also flag up something about goal times.
Ah, yes. Strong scorers in the last 15 minutes of either half. Around the 30th and 75th minute marks, potentially.
Yeah, specific periods where they seem to push. So, similar to Drogheda in a way, danger periods at home. But then there's Shelbourne.
And their data looks a bit worrying too, right?
It does. Their recent form is kind of mirroring St. Pat's overall struggles, just 2 wins in their last 11. And the away record is flagged as poor.
How poor?
No win in the last 6 away matches. And crucially, the notes say they haven't beaten a top 7 team away from home.
Okay, so struggling on the road, especially against the better sides. But wait, hang on. Just like the other match, the head-to-head this season throws a spanner in the works.
Tell me.
Shelbourne are unbeaten against St. Pat's this season. A draw and a win for Shelbourne in their 2 meetings.
Ah, okay. So here we go again. Shelbourne struggle away, particularly against top teams.
Yeah.
But they've had St. Pat's number so far this season.
Yeah.
So can St. Pat's immense home record finally break that head-to-head pattern? Maybe targeting those periods, around 30 minutes, around 75 minutes like the notes suggest, might be their plan to unlock Shelbourne at home this time.
It really highlights how looking at these stats isn't just about who wins or loses, is it? It's about seeing these little narrative threads, these specific pressure points the data suggests.
Exactly. The tension between home form and overall form, or how recent head-to-heads stack up against current momentum or specific strengths like those late goals. It gives you a feel for the game's potential story.
Absolutely. So I guess the main takeaways from this deep dive into your notes are those really strong, almost contradictory home records for both Drogheda and St. Pat's, but they're set against, Drogheda's recent draws and Rovers winning the head-to-heads this season. And for St. Pat's, it's that shaky overall form and Shelbourne somehow being unbeaten against them despite poor away results.
Yeah, pulling out those specific conflicts and details paints a much fuller picture than just looking at the league table or a simple prediction.
It really does. And maybe that leaves you, the listener, with something to think about. Looking at all this data, the form, the home away splits, those head-to-heads from this season, how much weight would you actually give to those recent encounters versus, say, a really dominant home record right now? Which bit of data feels most important to you in these games?
Something to mull over, definitely.
Okay, that wraps up our deep dive into your Irish Premier Division match previews.